United Nations Secretary-General António Guterres rejected attempts by the aggressor country, Russia, to justify the occupation of Crimea and Donbas. According to media reports, he stated this during a press conference in New York. In response to a question from a Russian journalist about whether he could view Crimea and Donbas in the context of the right to self-determination, Guterres stated that international law is based on two key principles: the territorial integrity of states and the self-determination of peoples. Referring to the conclusion of the UN Office of Legal Affairs, the Secretary-General emphasized that the right to self-determination cannot be applied in this situation.
We have concluded that the principle of self-determination cannot be applied to Crimea and Donbas, and therefore, in this situation, the principle of Ukraine's territorial integrity prevails.
Earlier, the head of the foreign ministry of the aggressor country, Sergei Lavrov, stated in an interview with Turkish media that Moscow had sent a request to the UN regarding the recognition of the right of Donbas and Crimea residents to self-determination. As is known, the territorial issue remains one of the most difficult questions during the peace negotiations. The Russian dictator Vladimir Putin demands that Ukrainian troops withdraw from Donbas. This is one of Russia's key demands. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky has stated that under no circumstances will Ukraine give up the territory of Donetsk region to Russia. According to him, the Ukrainian and Russian positions are fundamentally different, which is why the American side is trying to find possible compromise solutions.
Moscow's official geopolitical rhetoric continues to teeter between apocalyptic predictions for the West, which no longer scare anyone, and the blatant use of aggressive criminal underworld slang. This time, the Russian Federation's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, deliberately decided to cast significant doubt on NATO's unity by pointing to ongoing and complex territorial disputes over Greenland, and, as usual, pinned his strategic hopes on the incoming new American administration. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made a series of loud public statements and openly called into question NATO's ability to remain a unified bloc because of the complex geopolitical situation in Greenland. Greenland is an exceptionally clear and prominent example that nearly everyone is currently discussing, and around which such intense discussions are developing that it would have been extremely difficult for anyone to even imagine something like this happening before, including the future long-term prospects of NATO remaining a single Western military political bloc. We proceed from the idea that if Western countries, speaking of Greenland, want to talk among themselves based on their own rules, that's their choice. That's their right. But we will conduct business with our partners, with all partners from the countries of the global majority, and among Western countries who are interested in talking with Russia and discussing specific mutually beneficial projects, said Sergei Lavrov. He further emphasized and pointed out that the Trump administration continues to stand as the singular Western force that demonstrates a sincere and profound commitment to bringing a resolution to the Ukrainian conflict. Such a position, this willingness and understanding of the need to fully take into account the interests of a partner, is clearly reflected in the approaches of Donald Trump's administration to the Ukrainian settlement. The only Western country that is fully prepared and willing to address the complex task of completely eradicating the root causes of this conflict, which was largely created by Trump's predecessor, President Joe Biden, and his current administration, he said. The Russian foreign minister also described the upcoming 25th year as being exceptionally busy and significant. And he noted that the opening stretch of the 26th year, which has just begun, could break records for its impact. The events that have taken place in the first 20 days of this year, in my opinion, will overshadow all the record for emotional impact set in the 25th year. I hope we can engage in a comprehensive and thorough discussion regarding this matter, Lavrov stated during the official press conference. Moreover, you could say, to put it in the common language of the streets, Lavrov responded sarcastically that if the West wants to talk among themselves according to their own rules, that's their right. But Russia, which, let me remind you, has already been waging a bloody war against Ukraine for 4 years, according to Lavrov, will speak based on the principles of equality, he emphasized. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump continues to taunt the civilized world. On his social network Truth Social, he posted a drawing in which he plants the US flag on Greenland, which is marked as American territory as of 2026. He emphasized that the United States is the most powerful country in the world. We are the only force that can ensure peace throughout the world, and this is achieved, simply put, through strength, Trump noted. At the same time, in a conversation with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, the US president emphasized the importance of Greenland for the national security of the United States and announced meetings on this topic with various parties in Davos. According to Trump, the phone conversation with Rutte was very good. I agreed to a meeting of various parties. As I have already made clear to everyone, Greenland is extremely important for national and global security. There can be no turning back. Everyone agrees on this, Trump stated. It is worth noting that emphasizing the importance of Greenland for national and global security does not necessarily mean insisting that Greenland should become part of the United States, as Trump has often stated before. In the midst of increasingly threatening rumors and statements from the US, Denmark and Greenland formally proposed to deploy a NATO mission on the island. The media also reported that the US president suggested that the European military presence on the island was supposedly a provocation against him. He advised Europe to focus on the Russia-Ukraine war, not on Greenland. Do you believe that the US will really take Greenland for itself? Write your thoughts in the comments, and we'll read them. That's all for now. Comment, like, and see you next time.